We're joined by Representative Duncan Hunter, who served in both the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, and he joins us now. Congressman, welcome. Good to have you here tonight.
Thank you.
So let's start with this release. Al-Mari obviously was a person that we were very concerned about. He was said to be making cyanide poisons and scoping different transport sites in the United States. What do you make of this release?
Oh, it's absurd, and to make it even worse, the Qataris were asking for his release late last year. So this is something that Qatar wanted done for some reason, and the American people don't know what that reason is, and I don't either. I think, and this even goes deeper than what it is, I think it has something to do with the way that we're trying to get hostages back and prisoners in Afghanistan. I think this may have something to do with it. We're exploring that. What we're trying to find out is why. Why would you do this while you still have Marines and soldiers on the ground in harm's way? Why would you release somebody like this? It's just kind of crazy. I don't understand it, frankly.
It's a great question, and if it was some kind of deal, and I think everybody suspects that obviously there's more to this story than we know so far in terms of what kind of arrangement was made, but we're all going to wait to try to figure that out. In the meantime, I mean, it's part of replenishing the battlefield. We've seen many of these people who were returned to Yemen, which we know is a hotbed of ACAP, and also those who've been returned to Oman. They have a lot of freedom, a lot of latitude to rejoin, do they not?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this guy's brother is in Qatar, too. So you have his brother. He's basically going home to family. This is kind of a slap in the face too, I think, to the French people and any other folks that have been attacked by Al Qaeda, whichever splinter cell it is. This is a slap in the face of those people. It's a slap in the face to the military too, who have people on the ground right now, literally. I mean, this is a slap in the face to anybody involved with the military whatsoever. You can't release bad guys back in the line of duty while you're still at war. It's preposterous. And I think the only explanation that we can find, and we're still digging, like you said, this has to be some kind of hostage negotiation setup. And I think that could be the only reason. And if that's it, that's a bad move too, I think, especially for the United States. You don't put people on the ground that can kill American troops while you're still at war just for a hostage negotiation.
Well, you heard Valerie Jarrett. She basically said it was because his time was served. And when someone's in a federal prison in the United States, I mean, it's understandable that's tough to get around, is it not?
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't rob the McDonald's down the street, right? I mean, this is a terrorist that wanted to kill thousands of Americans. That's what his goal was. So this isn't a common criminal, and I think the administration really has a hard time. You know, they can't even say radical Islam. They can't say radical Muslim. They literally can't say it. So if they can't even say the words, and how would they recognize it when they see it? And I think this is the kind of problem that you run into. You treat guys like this like a common criminal that robbed the McDonald's for 2 or 3 cheeseburgers. That's not who this guy is.
Yeah, obviously you signed up for the military right after September 11th. So I'm curious what you thought about the president's treatment of the war on terror as we see it right now, and the fact that he said that we're stopping the advance of ISIL, which a lot of people who are on the ground take great issue with.
Yeah, what the president's doing is confusing our allies and emboldening our enemies. And he's pulling us back from a lot of the hot spots that we need to be at in a much bigger way. But that's exactly what he's doing. He's emboldening our enemies because they know, hey, even if you get caught by America, they'll probably send you back and you can get back to the fight. And our allies in this are going, are you kidding me? You guys are putting these guys back on the battlefield so that they could possibly do a London attack or another Paris attack or any of these European countries. I mean, this is absurd.
Well, if any of these people gets traced back to anything that is to come, there'll be a lot to answer for. There's no doubt about that. I want to ask you about something else, about Sergeant Andrew Tamarisi. He, of course, is the U.S. Marine who spent more than 7 months in a Mexican prison for making a wrong turn. And as you know, Greta's team and a few members of Congress, including yourself, Congressman Hunter, stayed on this case until he was finally freed and brought home. And last night, he was your special guest at the State of the Union. So what was that like for him? Tell us about it.
It was great for him. And you had so many members of Congress, just like you had so many Americans who really just had their heart in their hands for Andrew. And it was good for him to see them, and it was good for the Congress members to see him too. And lastly, this is not his point of view. This is my point of view. I think it was important for him to actually see in person the President of the United States, who was the one person in the whole country that could have got him out of jail. The one person in the whole country that could have got him out of jail and did not do anything anything to help him. I think it was kind of important for him, therapeutic even, in my point of view, for him to go and see him, but then also see all the other members of Congress, Democrats and Republicans, that were on his side and tried to help him out.
Yeah. Was there any awareness at the White House that he was in the House?
Who knows? Who knows what? I mean, the White House doesn't know who's in jail and who's a terrorist and who's not. How would they know if Andrew's in the Capitol?
Congressman, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to have you here tonight.